to speak, can you try your mic, please? GM.
Hi everyone. Okay, I think we're gonna start in a bit few minutes, but before that, maybe you could check. Is there anyone here from the Philippines? Maybe you could type in if you're from the Philippines or if you're from Vietnam or Thailand or Malaysia, just for us to know as well.
Yeah. Yeah, pwede din tayo. We can also do Tagalog, since this is a Philippine community call. Yeah, so we will do Taglish. So for everyone, start to learn Tagalog. So that's our local language. So yeah, let's just wait for 1 to 2 minutes maybe, then we can officially start army. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, we will start.
Okay. Also, can you check if you can share your screen? The
Sure.
presentation.
Let me try and test it out.
And then later puwedeng magtanong, like, we will make this very easy to grasp since, start pa lang 'to ng, Philippine community call natin, and to eventually have more programmed community call para mas maintindihan, sabay-sabay tayong matututo. So, in case may mga hindi naka-attend today, then they can catch up next call. Pero kasi magiging every other week 'to. So yeah, ask as much as you can if you want to understand more or kung ano pa yung mga, small details na hindi natin naintindihan, feel free to ask.
Right. Okay. I think just another one word to learn from. I know we have some people here from Vietnam. Because right now it's actually evening here in the Philippines. So when we say good evening, in Filipino it's magandang gabi. Yeah, just for you guys to learn. Hopefully we could learn each other languages as well. Okay, maybe anyone confirm here. If you're from the Philippines, can you send out the flag of the Philippines? It's good evening. It's magandang gabi. Nice, nice. If you have any friends also in the Philippines or in Cebu, and please invite them to also join because we have an amazing um announcements. And also we will have this hopefully we will learn each other as well and yes. So please invite them and we will start in a bit. So yeah, magandang gabi ulit. All right. Once again, if you're from the Philippines, send out the our flag and say magandang gabi, good evening, in English. So feel free to also invite your other friends to also join. Hopefully, we could get them here. Um, and of course, there's gonna be an announcement later on that will be announced here. So hopefully, they won't miss it as well. Ayan. Okay, we're seeing, right, a lots of Philippine flags. Yeah, right. We are magandang gabi. Nice. All right. Okay, so we will start in a few minutes. So, yes.
Yeah, actually we can start now, Army. Tara, start na tayo.
Okay. Yeah, you will start, Miss Pat, no?
Ikaw na.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Right. Right. Thank you so much. So, great to meet you, everyone. And it's gonna be the first community call for PH side as well. So let me just share my screen. Hopefully you guys can see it. Can you type in if yes? For me just to see if you guys can see it. Okay. Right, right. Thank you so much. Nice. Thank you for confirming. All right. So I think a lot of us here maybe also either join the Rust workshop. If you do, maybe you could confirm if you joined the Rust workshop last time in Cebu, or if you ever joined any Polkadot events or OpenGuild events in one of all right, someone said here, yes, all right. Nice, nice. That's a good start. Okay, right. So we're gonna be focusing on just giving you more introduction to what is Polkadot. A lot of things are basically just wanted to start with this one. So, yeah, okay,
Army, Army,
yes.
puwede tayong mag-Taglish,
Medyo, I kind of like ano, sige.
Mas comfortable, but it's okay. Sige, so before we introduce Polkadot to everyone, for me muna, I'm Pat. So, I'm part of the Open Guild. Open Guild nagka-function siya as Polkadot sa Southeast Asia, kaya may mga nakikita tayo dito from Vietnam or from other neighboring countries. Because for Open Guild, we are focusing on onboarding developers to Polkadot, and it's our job to make it, um, you know, to make everyone aware na hindi siya as complicated as everyone always say. Um, Kaya ito, part 'to sa, program natin na mas madaming Filipino or madaming Pinoy na makaalam paano mag-rebuild. But of course, step by step, right? Anyway, so that's, Open Guild. I'm, Patricia. I'm leading from the Philippines side. May mga team tayo sa Vietnam. Yung Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, pinaghahatian yan ng team. But for Philippines, Army is here, so she will be the one would be acting as a DevRel of Polkadot or Open Guild in the Philippines. So, yeah, feel free to introduce yourself, Army.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so ayun nga, ako si Armeline. Yeah, I actually really started mostly on the Web 2 when I transitioned now, no? Nandito na ako sa Web 3. And also, I know a lot of people na nandito ay gusto rin, no, to also went and hopefully get their job, no, sa Web 3. And I think Polkadot is gonna be your first, I think hopefully for some, or this is gonna be your opportunity then to learn as well the technical side. Yun. So yeah, I think we can probably start now. Although now hindi pa naman tayo magbiging sobrang less of coding for now, but hopefully in the sa mga susunod na other workshops, we will do it uh, as well. Okay, so ngayon, we're just gonna confirm, no? Kita naman yung slide. So, alright. So, Polkadot kasi, it's something that we see a lot, no? That it's actually scalable for a lot of things. Actually, marami na din na applications in the ecosystem for Polkadot, and it also has this what we call multi-chain network. So, whether you're from other chains as well, you can definitely connect with each other, especially in the Polkadot ecosystem. And of course, in that sense naman, we are in the Web3 space, so permissionless. And we also want that to focus on open source community. Ibig sabihin, anyone from the community can also contribute. Because again, without community, no, hindi siya, I mean, everything should be available for everyone. Either you're not developers or you want to transition as a developer. And it's actually a digital native sovereign network. So in that sense naman, when we think about the environment of Polkadot, it could also be in either technical law. We have a lot of that in the community as well. But we also want to highlight that it's also for the social side, wherein we try to make technology more easy for every developers na even if you are starting out in Web 2 or you transition to Web 3, you can definitely create your own decentralized applications using this one as well. And of course, it also helps us starting with those packages such as Substrate as well. We built on top of it to make it easy, so that you could deploy it as soon as possible as well. And of course, with the agents, this is something that we want to do that, of course, we have human users, we have the governance as well. And also we have many activity levels that will be located in different parts of the world where either, we have some people in the Vietnam side, we have other in different countries, especially in Southeast Asia, no? So Polkadot is an online community or economy for smart agents. And one thing that we want to highlight that, of course, isa din na pinaka biggest part here is the gaming side, where Polkadot fulfills its goals with a combination of mechanisms and games. I mean, we wanted to incentivize everyone, no, that's why we have a bounty program. So, ibig sabihin, if you wish to create a project on top of it, If you want to also like upskill and create your own technical, blogs and all, you can definitely receive a bounty on it. So, ibig sabihin, kapag meron kang na-contribute, something you could also incentivize as well. And eventually, you could be part and be one of the Polkadot developers as well. And on top of it, this is all just one picture, but I think it highlights that we want to make it really decentralized and open for everyone in the community, and also to highlight the importance of open source on that sense. And of course, without it, um, yeah. So I just want to highlight for this one, we wanted to highlight the ang pinaka-goal of the Polkadot is to really have a real-time and secure and global consensus on the system state. Second is trustless, of course, censorship resistant and permissionless transaction at scale. Again, we wanted to also secure and have that really on top. Na secure and trust is something we really want to highlight for this one. And also general programmable computation with really a full consideration in terms of security. And of course, just to give more context on each of those things, that when we talk about real-time, secure, and global consensus on system state, it really talks about that we want everyone to see it real time. Kung ano man yung mga changes or proposals or anything out there that needs people's, pause, or if it needs validation by the people. So it's really wanting to give more transparency for us. And of course, the unique history of everything that has happened is sustained as well. So same goes by with the community itself, that we wanted to be as transparent and visible for all, no, na you can see how things are going on, no. And of course, second is we wanted to highlight the trustless, censorship resistant, and permissionless transaction at scale, which means that we wanted to balance the need for interaction with the network, but also aim that we wanted to have the trustless at start as well. And third naman is that we wanted to explicit network-wide governance and co-evolution, which means that we are governed by, of course, the people, and we wanted to also evolve from there, the network na we do have the validators, we do have every time we have those changes, and we the ability to set the new rules. And of course, it's general programmable in the sense that Polkadot is also extending by general programs and usually taking the form of blockchain with themselves. So, of course, we wanted to allow the full security of the network. Kasi, I mean, everyone wants to build something that really secures highly the data then. And also we can trust on, right? So that's one of the best and the core of it. And of course, lastly is secure and trust minimize interoperability. Of course, we want to also have this one na we communicate with each other, trade with each other without entirely trusting them, and also protect the trade routes and enforce trade agreements. So these are the five things that we want to highlight in terms of Polkadot. And of course, in every, I think this is one of the things that everyone probably know already, but for some na hindi pa aware, validators is something that we have in the system as well. It also gives the idea that anyone in the community could also validate whether this thing here or itong isang proposal na to, is it really helpful or not, or di ba? So validators participate in the core games of Polkadot. And of course, when we talk about validators, we also incentivize to do things like put user transactions. No, when we talk about uh, transacting with one another, and also in another aspect as well. And of course, the game work as long as enough validators are doing their job and also not misbehaving. So, which means that, for example, you saw let's say something that is put into the platform, for example, or changes na has been made, we are allowing, for example, the validators to check, is this really something na really beneficial, or baka we should really think of and see from there. So, ibig sabihin, there's a sense of consensus that each of everyone is aware of. That's why when we talk about real time, right, we're seeing all the changes at that side as well. And of course, though we're gonna make it more high level for now, but hopefully in the next coming weeks, we will try to like dig down on what exactly the architecture of the Polkadot. Well, this one is pretty simple naman, no? That we have the validator on the side, and then we do have the configuration, which is the Gov side, and then also we have here the scheduling of the parachain, right, the execution part, and the consensus, which compasses all the major systems that Polkadot have. So you guys can also screenshot of this if you want, if in case you wanted to really see the high level of the major systems in the Polkadot. Um, and of course, validator are made to provide accurate execution. So I think something that I really highlight a while ago, that validators are there to make sure every process is as really defined as well. And of course, it's actually defined by what this we call WebAssembly code. Hopefully, that's something more like another thing or in a technical word, but we call it parachains. No, it's also sharing the load of validating these parachain across many validators. So you imagine that there's a certain proposal, and then from here, each of the validators could given be that opportunity to do that as well. So parang kumbaga each of them can also give credit or ano yung thoughts nila about this, feedback about it, and so on. If, for example, majority really says no about it, and then that's basically the input no from the validators itself. And it same goes with the other one if it's neutral naman, and then so on. So yeah, and of course, just a very, I think, good visualization, no, from this one. So basically, this is I think I saw this, I see this as a game. Basically, we're in, I think we can see it like a playground na each of those triangle that you're seeing, yung parang may mga three lines here, yung mga parang may six na parang dots on the other side of each, parang table na may mga seats. So I see it like a playground where each of them either like a slides, either them as also like a different parts of the playground no na people can play around, right? So with that itself, we call them as relay chain no. That's entire part. And there we have the validators and then also the parachain side. So basically, you can think of it like a playground in that sense. No, you really change just where the playground is going around there. And then also, we do have the bridge part. No? So I think this one is a good visualization of what exactly Polkadot is. And of course, in terms of relay chain, yung kanining nakita natin na parang a playground that we call, it's actually the hub of the Polkadot, no? That's where the main games are. So where the validators can now interact with. So that's why I think of it as a playground where um each of the parts of the playground, yung mga slides, other kinds of games sa playground could be where the validators could play, no? And then it's now built with Substrate. That's something that actually built by the Polkadot with highlight to make the development easy for everyone, especially for those trying to build their own decentralized app. And of course, the functionality of the relay change is actually minimized with the expectation that more complex functionality will be pushed to less critical parts. So I think that's a good term to think about, that relay change chain is actually the hub for Polkadot. And also, relay chain functionality, there's actually governance. Doon na papasok yung other important thing about staking, registration, scheduling, and communication between different parts or between parachains, and then also balance transfer. So, ang daming nangyayari within that playground, no? So, you could see governance like another playground, such as slides, no? Staking, another one ulit. So, inside of it, that's where we do that. And of course, with the relay chain games, we do have the consensus part. So we have parachange, and these games are actually enabling all the activity within the Polkadot. So hopefully na visualize na siya as like a playground, no? So to make it more easy for everyone. And of course, here we highlight the at least the high level in terms of the consensus, wherein the goal is to actually grow and finalize a relay chain. and then also have the rules set, no? So whether it's all about validators put the skin in the game, right? And then incentivize the game, especially when we talk about like playground, right? We have this what we call game rules, no? Na dapat pag natap mo na yung kabilang player, hindi na pwede yun, right? So it's the same thing as how we think about it. It also has the rules wherein the game works whenever the validators misbehave. Okay, so I think that's hopefully an easy, I guess, visualization of how things are happening in the Polkadot ecosystem. And of course, the parachain, we were going to highlight naman yung high level for this one, where we wanted to grow registered parachains and post only valid updates to the relay chain, wherein we have also rules, no, that validators are incentivized to test new parachain updates. And of course, this next naman is makes a new next relay chain, and also the next would be like slash FD attest to incorrect parachain. So again, another thing pa rin, the game works whenever one third of it of validators misbehave as well. So hopefully that's like a very high level for now, but we will go in the deeper naman on this sense. Hopefully in the coming sessions or community calls. And of course, all other functionalities of Relay Change, ay yun yung tinatawag natin na mga part of the playground, such as staking, governance, balances, and etc., are either now defined no into the definition of valid block and valid transaction. So where the validators can now do around no work around here and so on. And of course, I think a lot of us here, maybe you can confirm no, is anyone here familiar with staking or have done staking before? Maybe you could type in. If it's your first time, maybe you could type in yes if it's first time, no if not first time. Maybe just so we can check with the people here. Have you done staking before? Okay, we have a lot of people here that's their first time. Oh, okay. Already like done it before. Nice. Okay. Probably can share an experience as well, like how you do the staking or how you get started on it. Right. Okay, nice. Someone's typing. Thank you so much for the engagement as well. Okay, so yeah, basically again with staking, we use again now the relay stake, a relay chain, which actually now operates the system for selecting accurate capital behind validator. So doon ipapasok yung on that side. And accounts on Polkadot may issue a nominate transaction to select. So validators they support. And then every day, an automated election selects the validator for the next 24 hours. So nominators share in both the reward and slashing of their nominee. So basically now, we are setting that idea na, of course, we have the validators. But now, how do we now nominate those transactions that our validators can now support? And of course, that's basically the staking, which go now to the next part, which is message passing or what we call the trustless communication. So now, nabanggit natin kanina yung staking, with the relay chain again, yung playground natin, it manages the message queue and channels between parachains. So it now work together with parachain and then now the relay itself. And then, of course, again, back to the validators to ensure that the message queue are now properly maintained. So, ibig sabihin parang there's this idea that each of the validators has their one goal is to either make sure that everything is actually maintained, but also updated at the same time. And next naman, we cover the next is, let me just go to the slide, is the registering parachain. So, in 1.10, it's actually now via auctions to get a large bulk of allocation. So in the future, either way, it could be done more granular, so mas maliit siya, or mas specific on that sense. But it could be either on a large one, bulk allocation for the parachains. And of course, I think we want to highlight now the of governance. No? So again, we go back to this part. Since diba, if you remember, the Polkadot main system is that we have the governance side, we do have the validators, and now the other side is the parachain. Now we want to highlight OpenGov So if you haven't checked it out, we will send it afterwards if ever if you want to see how OpenGo looks like. But it's where the on-chain governance of the stakeholder. This is where the voting now can also be seen, no? Because again, of course, every time that there's a validator, there's also like a funds that needs to be allocated per specific nominated proposals and all. And of course, it administers the treasury funds and also yeah configure the fees, the purchase protocol, and other things inside of the platform. So I think in the idea na even if we want to take all the proposals ready or accepted. Of course, we wanted to make sure that's really allocated on each of those really highly, voted by the validators and many more. And of course, the treasury is something that also ensures again the portion of the network fees and also, of course, the it is actually managed by the government as well, the governance. And then this intention, and to highlight here that the intention of the treasury is to pay people to help grow Polkadot itself. So it's like when we think about the playground, I mean, there's always a prize naman if every either the games, right? So it's not actually like naglalaro lang for nothing, right? We have the end goal to win, but also get a reward at something on that. So as token are burned, this creates a pressure to fund public projects. So ibig sabihin, for example, you have seen related social good projects on the OpenGov, and of course, people will actually validate it and then see from there if it's something that really are impactful, no? And then from there, the tokens are now burned, and then it also helps now to find those projects that are actually chosen, no? So it takes I think it actually faster in the OpenGov kasi nga a lot of people could just basically now vote it and then get the people out there as well. And of course, the fellowship. Again, we want to highlight again the term that we mentioned a while ago. It's actually open source. So it's a collective of developers coordinated through on-chain activities now. They set technical direction for the network to RFEs. So that's the fellowship side. And of course, these are like one example. Although we can probably skip that for now, but we will soon go low level on these part. But these are like the examples that you guys can check. And of course, now we will revisit the goals, no? So again, we mentioned kanina yung relay chain, um, so which will actually participate now. So I think I could think the validators as the players on that game, no, on the playground, and then every block they make and finalize advances the system state. So you could think of that a simple way. And of course, trustless in that sense na we are at scale, no? So we drive most of the engineering side of the Polkadot. But again, the parachain consensus game is also one of the part, aside from the relay chain consensus. So that more make it efficient for the game that we can actually implement it in the Polkadot itself. And then, of course, three is to explicitly network-wide governance. So which is now, yung na-mention kanina natin na OpenGov. So those are where you can see all the project. Oo nga 'no. So we can yeah, we will do that as well. Hopefully, okay. So next naman, OpenGov. So I think, yeah, maybe we can show that later, no? How it looks like. Baka ma-visualize natin ano yung itsura niya. So, yeah. Then next naman is the four, which is the parachain consensus. So as most parachains naman registered by users and validators are on the for valid updates. So of course we wanted to highlight naman na parachains is also crossing out different chains on the side as well. And next naman natin is to also secure and trust minimize and this one naman I think we just highlight that the relay chains that we mentioned a while ago really makes it more sense that we want a trust minimization and of course as well yung mga future protocols on the side. And I think at scale naman, I think we have this at scale Polkadot's value proposition. So from this, ito siya, we wanted to highlight, of course, everyone can validate, do their inputs on the community or entire governance of Polkadot instead of like making it closed, no, for some people lang. But here we wanted to make it open for all. And that's why these are like the thing that we wanted to highlight, that blockchain scalability trilemma. So here we were are wanting to solve three things, which is the security side. Like if there's any possible nga attack on it, like how much are we secured, or how can we say that it's actually secured, right? And scalability is how much work can we do now for our network. And then third is how decentralized is the network. So when we talk about, I guess, blockchain scalability, it should answer all these three things. Because again, you don't build for just a phase na it's just that phase, no. We wanted to scale it more deeply or more better on the other cross other markets and so on. So scaling is one of the important part here. And of course, scaling and scheduling is two different things. Of course, scaling is important, but we have to make sure that the resources is actually allocated better, because again, we have to see whether this one here and so on. And now we can allocate it based on the parachains through execution core. So I think we will show that hopefully I guess more visual nan for this one. And here naman the one chain per core, the time, and then also the execution cores end game. I think one of the core time of Polkadot's product is to highlight that, applications to buy build on the Polkadot, but also make sure that we are mixing both the scalability and also the scheduling. Hindi lang parang we are thinking of scaling, but we have to make sure that the funds we are putting there is allocated really good. So both of them is actually working together on that. Um, and next naman is that again, Polkadot is scalable. And the other side here is permissionless, decentralized, and open source community. And lastly is digital natives sovereign network. So I guess I could probably go on the figure kanina that we used a while ago for let me just pull up that figure. This one. So I think on that side, no, these are like the good visualization of what exactly the Polkadot system is. So the relay chain, and then we have here the validators, parachain, and the collators. So another one here, I think we can probably show this two as well. The three things. Because we mentioned all the validator kanina for selection and security, but also the OpenGov as well for the governance. And then lastly is the parachain, where we mentioned kanina yung scheduling, no, yung allocation of the funds, execution, and also the consensus. So those are the three things. I think medyo concepts pa siya, but we hope naman to add more figures as well. So yeah, I think that's more the intro to Polkadot. Maybe if you guys have any questions to ask as well. Ayan. Ayan, parachain is equals to Polkadot's layer ones. Yes. Okay, any question from the other? Or any clarification that wants to ask, and any random questions, or probably ah ayan, I think we have one more question here. I think we can probably I think Miss Pat, no? Someone is also asking here, like, what's the difference now with other blockchain? Maybe we could. Okay, another question we have here: how does Polkadot distribute the validation process? Right? I think we could probably answer the first one there. No, I think with Polkadot kasi, we are trying to not just parang gatekeep it. For example, you can think of it na parang we create, let's say, how do you call it, a package, no? That package kasi, for example, ano bang pwedeng mga example nating package? Siguro pwede natin gumawa ng, let's say, manufacturing of certain packages. We don't limit that package for us only, but we empower those people to also build on top of the packages that we actually built from. I think we will discuss naman later on the substrate so that you could understand more why I think Polkadot is more different from the other blockchains. Kasi, I mean, we have a lot of like layer ones, layer twos, I think in the chain as well. But I think maybe Miss Pat also could add on to it.
Yes. So for I think main difference would be yung Polkadot tech stack mismo ng Polkadot 'no, which is yung Substrate. So, yung Substrate yung mismong, isa kasi sa mga main purpose ng Polkadot is to make it easier for builders to build. Y Babalik tayo dun sa parang, main vision ng Polkadot creator which is Gavin Wood na sinabi niya before na builders should focus on building and not just purely coding, right? Parang siya na nga yung nag-break ng parang, stereotype, building blockchain or coding na as in ilang months or maybe years, it will take you years to build your own blockchain. Pero for Polkadot, since we have Substrate, so it's gonna be, an easy way for you to build. So, tatanggalin na natin ah, yung mga thoughts na nasa isip ng Filipinos or ng ibang builders na mahirap mag-build, which is not. So eto yung isa sa mga, natin dito sa call na 'to, as we start, na hindi siya gano'n kahirap actually. Lagi ko 'tong sinasabi, sinubukan kong gawin sinubukan kong um, gamitin yung Substrate. Hindi ako dev, pero I tried, like I followed videos, I followed, some docs na kung saan puwede akong gumawa ng sarili kong blockchain and eventually, I mean napunta ako dun sa kung talagang paano ka puwedeng mag-build ng blockchain and it will really not take you years or months to build that and I think that's what I really like, about Polkadot. Of course, biased tayo, but, I had to know how it works para masabi ko din, matulungan ko din like for example for army na it's not as complicated as everyone thinks. Siguro may mga maliliit na details na as sa mga tech but for me as a non-tech, I don't see it like that. So, yeah, I think that's the main difference and also good to mention na there's, highly secured ang Polkadot. Um, Yun yung isa sa mga unique selling points ng Polkadot 'no. So, unlike other protocols, I think Polkadot is the most resilient blockchain. Ito yung mga lagi nating pino-promote even ng ibang, technical, ng mga developers ng Polkadot, engineers, we're all aligned kapagka sinabi natin na Polkadot is the most resilient blockchain kasi ito yung, pinaka-secured na blockchain that we have now. So, yeah, that's it for me.
Ayun. I think for some of developers here naman, maybe you can think of it as like API, no? So, pwedeng you can think of Substrate as the one like we call as API, where other builders out there can just use those API to build now their decentralized application. So parang we are not the one trying to like, remove that, but also like help those developers to create their own products na out of the blockchain. Kasi, I mean, we are also Rust and base, no? If you check out, I think, Rust documents, one of the examples they mentioned there when we talk about Web3 for the Rust, which is the programming language, they always mention Polkadot because basically Substrate actually was developed out of the Rust itself. So yeah, maybe you could check it out, those documents as well. Yes, I think Substrate will be introduced. Maybe, yeah, hopefully, yes, definitely. Any other questions pala for the other as well? Okay. How does Polkadot distribute? I think kanina we mentioned yung what we call nominated proof of staking. Hopefully, that also clarifies that that's where the validation comes in terms of that. Where, again, we also set the rules, no, for each of the validators to do either for their staking and so on. And I think yun yung yung nominated part, I think I could also show that on that here. So maybe we could go back on that part yung sa proof of staking. So if you ask yung specific on the side of how the validation comes in, so this is the number one part that is actually done, the nominating of proof of stake. So yeah. Um any other questions pala? But I think Miss Pat can also add on to it if in case. Ayan. Any other questions from ayun, go Miss Pat.
No, no, kung, let's see lang. Pero kung ano, kung wala na, I mean, that's fine. What else kaya, good to mention about our
Yeah.
first community call? Yeah.
Sure, sige. I think since we already go into the Polkadot introduction, I think someone is asking here like how to go into Substrate, no? But I think the thing here is I want to highlight again that the part where yun nga we mentioned kanina that uh Polkadot is empowering builders, no? So we can say it like API on that side na I think hopefully itong Substrate, no, we can go on it like very high level. But I try to like explain it more for all of you. I think we still have more time naman. So, yun kanina, I think a lot of mention here like how do we exactly build on top of Substrate? Like we've mentioning it a while ago. But now, thinking of it, no, there's so many parang problems when building, I think, dApps, no, decentralized apps on the blockchain space. I mean, like if you are a blockchain, I think a blockchain developer na, parang it's easy for you, no? But for those are starting out, parang there's so many things, no? Like technical stack that you have to know. You have to like learn this muna. You have to learn the crash course of blockchain, ganyan. But when we talk about Substrate, again, it's also already an API that a lot of people can now use. So, um, that's something you want to highlight. I think that's also one thing that Miss Pat also mentioned a while ago na there's more into it. You can either build smart contracts, anything around it, especially language ecosystem, documentation, and a lot more. And especially for transactions sa mga DeFi and all. And of course, building a blockchain is actually really hard. I mean, to be honest, if you're really starting to it, I would think it's hard. So that's why we highlight nga na I think now is the time that developers can now think of how can they like integrate it easily on their platforms without thinking so much what they call infrastructure, architecture na kailangan mo pang i-design for it, like so many things, right? On top of like anything, especially for security, right? Because every tech products naman, we always think about security, right? We think about how we can develop it fast, no? How can we ship it so fast that people can use it, no? So that's where we want to highlight Substrate, no? So Substrate make it easy, but we're gonna explain why and how. So of course, I think for some here that are actually starting in, I can actually send here the specific GitHub. So if you wish to see that, I can send here. This is actually the Substrate repository. So if you wish to check out, if you are actually a developer here, feel free to check it out. But going here naman, this is where a lot of people are actually contributing to it. So we every time I also do projects on top of Substrate, I usually use it this one. Hindi ako nahirapan ipag-build on it kasi I just basically use it and then now I just have to think about the UI. Usually kasi before when we think about development on blockchain, I have to think about like from the scratch, ano yung kailangan kong gawin. But with Substrate now, I can just think of, yeah, I can use it. I can just change a little bit. But think of like, anong UI na yung gusto kong gawin. So parang it make it less for the development, but more on the deployment for it to make it really fast. And also, again, Substrate is actually developed using Rust, no, which is actually now the booming language that a lot of developers are eyeing for. So if you wish to become a blockchain developer, I know we have Solidity and other anything stack na out there, but Rust is mostly really used now, and that's where the Substrate came in as well. So of course, we run a simple solid chain or what we call two Substrate nodes. So again, we want to highlight ano nga ba yung Substrate, no? So there are three things pala. We have here the networking layer, wherein now the next part is now the platform agnostic language. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya yung parang specific lang on one area. It actually useful for any type of applications or any type of use cases, no? So, and then also, yun nga, yung part of the consensus and database layer is one thing there. And of course, ito yung, I think someone is also asking the high level of the architecture, but this is also how it looks like. So we have the networking on the other side, and we have the consensus, and yung WASM, the WebAssembly that we talked about kanina, and then yung storage, and then on so on. So yun yung entire Substrate client side. So which is, you can actually customize it. So pwede mo siyang i-design on your own a specific use case naman, and it's actually ready for you to use on your application. So usually I just use it a lot of times sa development, especially when I try to like build smart contracts. Currently I'm doing one. So a lot of it was actually used on Substrate. Um, and of course, I think we will mention naman soon yung ink. That's also another counterpart of Solidity in terms of building your own smart contracts. So when you build something on Substrate, there are actually three things, no? This one is something you would see on the later next of community calls kasi each of them has specific reasons why they're there. But right now we're trying to like dive onto the high level, no. So node is one, runtime, and then the frame. So that's where the logic of the palette. So which is gonna be discussed naman. Hopefully in the next community calls. But we're introducing this para kapag nakita niyo siya on one of those community calls, you would aware na okay, we're talking about the part of the substrate. And of course, yan, yung frame, I think we've seen kanina yung tatlo na yun. So it's actually the part where the development environment. So it modules, so we'd call it palettes. And then now we have this logic for extending to build the runtime using this for your blockchain. So actually marami siyang different kinds of palettes that are available to use. So para siyang, I think you can think of it like a developer hub wherein you can either choose which one of it you can use. And then kung gusto mo siya gamitin for a certain use case, you can just pull up either one of it. So meron tayo here for performing root cause and POA network, and then the other one is for auction. So they have many parang parts of the palettes na can be actually customized on your part as well. So it's like it makes it easy kasi parang hindi ka na magbe-build from scratch. I mean, optional siya to build from scratch. But if you want to like build easy, you just have to pull up each of them kung alin yung specific for your development. So that is actually frame. And of course, ito siya. Although we hope to explain this a bit more naman on the next community calls, but each of the part of the WebAssembly and here yung wasn't runtime, nandun yung different frame palettes. So we have for Aura, Grandpa, and many more. It depends on the specific use case again. Runtime here, we have yun nga, Aura, Grandpa, and many more. So we will hope to explain this naman. So just attend the the community call so we can explain each of them as well. So and then next naman is the question of how to customize our blockchain. So kanina we talk about palettes, no? We talk about the three things, right? The node, runtime, and then many more. But we need to think about all of us naman, whenever we develop something, we want to customize it on what we need, right? So I usually think of it as like a Lego, that Substrate is the one that we use for yung may mga nagpe-play ba dito ng Lego? Anyone here who play around with Lego? Maybe type in. Ako kasi medyo fan of Lego ko. So parang I use it for building different kinds of stuff. So Substrate is the one that you use, yung compile mo para maka-build ka ng, let's say, house. If you're playing Minecraft, you can think of it like you're trying to get specific land area na mga squares. And then when you create now a specific part of, let's say, building your buildings or farm, now you use those Substrate framework to build that for you. So again, That's what we highlight here, that it's now for you to also customize your blockchain based on the Substrate framework. So hindi siya parang you can just do it one way, but it could also be customized in any way you want as well. So yeah. And then next part here is that we are actually EVM compatible. So I think some of here might be asking if we are EVM compatible. So yes, we have PAD EVM, we have PAD Ethereum, we have this, and of course again, when we add kanina yung Substrate framework and then yung kanina compatibility blockchain, we have the three things here, you know. So we have EVM and then that. So yeah. So parang you can view them as like it's a building blocks that you needed for, I think it's a foundation that you needed when you need to build something. So that foundation could be the substrate as well. And of course, the proof of staking. So I think kanina may mga nag-ask about like validators or validator asking for this and that. So that's also the same way. We still use the black substrate as well for that, where we have valid staking, we have valid session, offenses, authorship, and so on. So that's now we can now customize the proof of staking of our blockchain as well. And next one could be the authority. So same goes, no? Kung mapapansin nyo sa substrate itself has many things, no? Has many palette that's around it, no? We have palette grandpa, we have palette consensus. But of course, we will explain naman each of that palettes, no? So yeah. And next one here is the zero knowledge blockchain. I think it's already out there, but we hope to have that as well on the next community calls. Yung zero knowledge blockchain that we are calling, or the ZK we are talking about. And of course, application of the specific blockchain, it could be used for metaverse, IoT, DeFi. I think I've seen a lot of DeFi projects as well. I think if you wanted to know more about what's the Polkadot uh, ecosystem as well, ano yung mga parang applications that's actually in the ecosystem, mostly you will see around this part here, meron ding AI layer na on top of the substrate. So it's actually in different places, no? So hindi siya parang basically for one area. So I really see it as an API that either you build an AI app, the app, or you build the DeFi app and many more the app. So it depends. And also next naman is that the substrate of Polkadot. So here we have the solid chain, then we have the solid chain plus bridge, then the parachain. So yung kaninang mga, so maraming concepts that you have to really like, okay, that's why we're really introducing the concepts for now. Para, so at least when we introduce each of them in technical sense, we understand where it actually used for. So yeah. Next naman is, these are like the substrate global nodes. So you see, actually, ang dami na. And then I've seen a lot of, especially in Southeast Asia, I really see a lot of like applications already on the subject, where I've learning a lot on different use cases then where subjects are actually being used. I one of the interesting part na I really like about it is yung sa AI layer. Because again, now like Gen AI, di ba? Ang dami ng AI-related parang products. And now when we think about it, right, data is going to be like number one question that needs to be answered. That's also one of the use cases that I see around Polkadot ecosystem. Solving that and also the security around the data. So yeah, that's an interesting take as well. And of course, again, kanina pa natin na-highlight 'to, pero it's actually built on Rust. So if you're also wanting to learn Rust and eventually you wanted to learn the application of it, Substrate is also. And I think, yeah, so I think we're on the last part naman na. So hopefully, if you haven't checked it out, but we will share naman hopefully in the next few sessions yung um, materials about Rust. And of course, if you want to contribute, I'm gonna share the open guild here. So I'm gonna end that part on this one, just to go over. So I think for those, we have this what we call open contribution bounty. So for example, we are hosting community calls. You can actually like start learning about it, and then every time you create something around, for example, I think right now I was doing more on technical blogs. So for example, I was doing project. I usually write ups, tutorials on it so that and then posted it also on the Open Guild. So you usually earn a bounty for that. So if you wish to learn and get a bounty on that side, you can do that. The guidelines is here. And also may have a lot of tracks that you can do. Right now, the available one is track 3, 4, 5, and also 1, I think. So if you wish to learn and execute here and then get your bounty, please do so. Really encourage everyone in the community, especially on the PH side, to have more tutorials that are actually Filipino and localized for us na we could learn. And then, for example, you can help other friends to start with. And I think this would also help you to get started on the blockchain career, So yeah, I think that's what I end for. Hopefully, the next community calls we can discuss it more deeply. But yeah, I think for now it's gonna be high level. All right. So I think that's pretty much. Thank you so much for listening. And if you have any question, just send it to us, and then we hope to answer it for the next sessions as well. Ayan. I think we're pretty good now, but can you type yes if you understood something on our or if you have any key takeaways, please free to type it on our chat. But I know a lot of people might be requesting sana more sessions. We will do, so don't worry. It's just gonna be the start. So yeah. All right. Nice. Thank you so much. How about the others? How was your Yeah, hopefully, yes. Sana matry na natin and you can also join the bounty program. So, ayan. I think we're now closing it, Miss Pat, no? We have any last words to say for the announcement?
Yes. Well, if we do or if there's any questions, I know this is quite too much information for all of us, especially sa mga bago pa lang, as in yung mga first time marinig yung Substrate, first time marinig yung Polkadot tech stack, um, lahat ng terms and details ng Polkadot. We will help step by step, of course, baby steps. Kasi we know naman na it's not easy to open or to start in another ecosystem, no? But I think what we can only say here is that pagka may knowledge na kayo about Polkadot, it would be easier for other ecosystems to be learned. Since Solidity is being used naman by other protocols also, some projects are using Substrate. So madaming magiging example in the coming weeks. But for now, I think dito muna tayo and we will take it one step at a time. Just send as much questions as you can. And then, yeah, for Filipino devs, no, sa community devs natin, may mga upcoming activities tayo. So, stay tuned. We will announce it soon, very, very soon. And it's gonna be a great opportunity for Filipino builders to join this. Kasi this is something na we will start uh, something big, I can say, for anyone who wants to start exploring Polkadot, and of course, being incentivized and seeing how much you can easily learn and build on Polkadot and what you can do about it. Ang daming opportunity, really. So, hopefully, I see everyone, different parts of the Philippines, not just Manila, not just in Luzon, but also in central and southern Philippines. Or if you know, of course, if you know some more devs outside Luzon, Visayas pa yan o Mindanao, let them know about this. We will announce it very, very soon. Oh, Joel. Hi, Joel. Yes. So may mga isa-isahin ko lang yung questions dito ha. But for tech questions, I will let Army answer that. So for technical blog, meron namang nakalagay dito sa GitHub na shinare ni Army kanina. Very detailed 'to. So feel free to check it out. Meron din ditong announcement sa server kung paano kayo puwedeng mag-start 'yan. So pinapakita 'yan ni Army ngayon. And then, so for other questions, how about the non-devs? Are there upcoming activities, events? Oo naman. Puwede kayong actually meron din dito sa open contribution, eh, parang puwede kang organize ng event. Of course, we will do it together if you want 'no. Madami pang iba siguro, for, ah, marketing or promotion side of things, mga ganyan, madami pang puwede. Kung may mga idea kayo na puwede niyong i-suggest also, very open naman kami diyan. Hi, third. Tapos kung mga non-dev kayo, puwede din kayong, um, mag-join sa mga future meetups ng November, December, tsaka ng mga upcoming months 'no. Madami tayong puwedeng gawin where we can all gather together and talk about, I don't know, talk about what you're doing and how you can contribute to Polkadot or to OpenGuild, yung mga gano'n. Madaming possible na puwedeng gawin.
Yes. And I think also for the developer naman, we have actually available learning resources here on the platform. So if you wish to learn more about it, there's actually a learning resources also here. So for example, yung mga blogs that has been done in the previous months. So nandito rin siya if you wanted to learn about Polkadot, Substrate. So actually very good yung community kasi a lot more developer resources. And also, whenever you actually do a bounty or for example, your certain content or technical blog is accepted, you're actually get a points out of it. So may mga leveling siya. So if you, for example, reach a specific, let's say, level 9, yeah, yun yung mga parang expert na on Polkadot. So it is a good badge for you na it says na you've done it pretty much. And then activity, yan. Ito yung mga community calls in the past, live coding sessions. And if you wish to also host your own parang meetups on your place then we can help you if ever. For example, you want to talk about, kunyari na-train nyo na yung Polkadot or Substrate, and then you wish to like have a meetup on your local communities, pwede din. The slides are actually available here. So everything is actually open source. So if you wanted to be part of it, so just let us know as well. So yeah, hopefully that answers some of the questions of you guys. I think for the Solidity smart contract, yes, actually possible. But we do have our counterpart as well, which is Ink. So you can use it for building your smart contracts. Yeah. I can also send the ink. Let me just send the ink. Ito. Yeah. I think siya yung send. So if you wanted to build your smart contract with ink, that's also here. Another resources. So feel free to use it and check it out.
Alright. So, yeah, I guess that's it. Army, anything else from your end?
I think we're good. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to us as well.
Okay, sige. So, thank you so much, Army, and thank you everyone for coming here from Web3 Bulacan, Web3 Cebu, from Bitsquela, and for everyone outside of those communities. We really appreciate you coming here. Sa susunod, we will announce kung ano yung magiging topic, but also, you can suggest what kind of topic you want us to discuss next. So, of course, mas interested kami kung saan kayo interested. I think, Army, no, we can talk about next yung Substrate naman. We can deep dive on that since that's the Polkadot tech stack. And yeah, I think that's it. Phil, stay tuned sa mga special announcements. Very exciting months ahead for all of us. So thank you again and have a good night. Good rest of the day for everyone. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.